Hi everyone, it is another talk with a Jason. This is two Jasons, one episode. It's a BOGO edition. We're also talking about a set of books, not just one book, but two books that are on the way very soon. The last time I had the chance to talk with Jason Platt, we were talking about middle school misadventures, something I know very well. I spent almost 10 years in the middle school classroom as a teacher,
Oh,
over 10
wow.
years if you count my time as a middle school student. So yeah, the always a time that I look back on with fond memories and not a twitch or two at all. But glad to be talking with Jason on this episode, and I'm not talking in third person there. We're currently talking about Paw and Order. Dong dong. Can I do that? Is it okay? Do you think?
I don't
Do you
know. I
think
have no idea.
will NBC come after me or whoever
I
shows
didn't
that?
do it. That's
That's perfect. Okay. So the Paw and Order series from Paper Cuts, created by Jason Platt. We're chatting through that. So I guess by means of a first question, it's been a few minutes since we've talked. What's been
Mhm.
happening recently in your creating? What new directions are you exploring?
Yeah, so let's see, the third middle school misadventures book, Dance Disaster, came out in 2022. And it was
Mhm.
actually while I was writing and finishing up that book where I drew a sketch of I think it was Perlock, one of the main characters of Paw and Order. He's the cat. Um,
Mhm.
and I kind of drew him, and it was just kind of like he didn't even have a tie on. He looks very rough around the edges, but it was like I saw something there that I wanted to play with, and I kind of wanted to do it like a different direction, as opposed to like middle school misadventures, where as opposed to like a middle school setting with hallway scenes and cafeteria scenes where it was mostly like a smaller cast of characters.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Marlowe came into play, the dog, and it everything just kind of fell into place.
I love the humor of the book. I know that's something that we'll get into, but I love the ironic kind of like bringing in detective stories, bringing in all of these characters and using animals to represent them. There's a lot of fun stuff happening.
Thank you. Yeah, it was such a blast to come up with, write. I remember when I was writing the script and just going like, "Oh, this is so much fun." I was just I mean, that's how you want to have like a book that you're writing just flow, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, yeah. I also love that you kind of created this sketch and then said, "Oh, this might be a thing." I saw a little soundbite of John Cleese talking about creativity and how if you're truly being creative, there really aren't mistakes because you're giving yourself permission to play and make mistakes and kind of like move to the next thing. And every kind of mark on the page or every moment, every beat, every interaction is something heading in the right direction eventually.
Right.
And I love the freedom of that kind of like play and in creating.
Well, there is this in my past, it's like I do have like this belief that if you can try too hard, and sometimes like kind of going with what you're talking about, if you just kind of like let things happen, they may not be exactly what were originally thinking, but here's something new to play with, and where do you go from there? And sometimes you got to be open to those happy accidents, I guess you could call them, and
Yeah,
see what comes out of it, you know?
yeah. So it sounds like part of the spark for Paw and Order was getting this illustration. What were some of the other ingredients? What else was in the alchemy?
Well, that's a great question because when I was a kid, I mean, even to this day, I've been a huge mystery lover. That's actually my go-to genre. And so like I remember seeing my mom read like Agatha Christie when I was a kid, and like I remember like the cover art was always really intriguing, and there's like Poirot like on this great illustration on the back, just kind of like twiddling his mustache, and I was like, wow, that looks amazing. And I didn't know anything about the books, but I remember trying to read it when I was like 7 or 8, but it was beyond me at the time. But since then, it's like I've read just all of her stuff. And I remember um, when I was in middle school, um, I remember sneaking to watch the late night CBS reruns of Columbo,
Oh yeah.
and
Hmm.
they came on like after Letterman, and so I remember staying up late just to watch Columbo, and like just if I had a bowl of popcorn, I just would have been eating it the whole time because I just loved it, and so. And one of the other things is like when I was growing up too, it's like it was not to say that there weren't like mystery books for readers of my age, but they weren't
Hmm.
exactly what I was hoping for. Because like I read the Hardy Boys, but they were kind of like more like mystery adventure books, and then there's like Encyclopedia Brown and stuff like that, which were awesome. But I was really looking for like a really like a who done it type of a
Hmm.
book. And even like with Scooby-Doo, I loved watching that, but it was there was always one one suspect. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's the guy who did it. But I always wanted like this logic puzzle of trying to figure this mystery out. And while Paw and Order isn't like a really a deep, engrossing mystery, it's still a logic puzzle.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's you get to see the clues, you get to see the suspects, and you're trying to measure out the what the suspects are saying that are with the clues and how does it match up. So even just writing it, it was like, oh, this is just I'm loving this.
Wow. I was talking with a mystery author not too long ago. Her name is Del Casterson. She writes mysteries for adults, and we were talking about how popular mysteries are. They're a go-to genre. I'm a former librarian, and there was lots of traffic always to the mystery section. So I'm excited to see how you make use of the graphic novel to drop those clues in, because I know there are a couple for younger readers. There's like a couple of novels anyway. There's The Inheritance Game, which is Varian
Hmm.
Johnson. There is oh, what's the other one? I was just thinking of it. The Westing Game, I think is what it's
Oh
called.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Raskin?
those are, yeah. Um, those are both prose novels, but I
Hmm.
imagine graphic novels allow for even more because you can slide something anywhere in the panel that you want.
Absolutely. You can show like maybe like a little bit of sweating or like collar tugging
Hmm.
from a witness. You can see like kind of like with the metaphorical heat lamp being shown on them at times, and but yeah, absolutely. And but yeah, like I remember reading the Weston game when I was I think in the fifth grade, and that
Yep.
was like
Hmm.
when I was reading it, I was like, oh, I want to figure this out, and that was
Yeah.
exactly the type of book I was like hungry for.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I know that you have book one in August 5th,
Yep,
and book two then quickly follows in October. So we don't have
it
to wait
does.
long for a sequel. Uh,
You don't.
what are you envisioning as far as the series? Is this something that you'd like to unfold from there?
Yeah, actually, I am just finishing up book three right now. The
Nice.
first book is the grilled cheese caper, where
Hmm.
Perlock and Marlowe they go to a grilled cheese festival, which I actually hear is a real thing down in somewhere in Florida. I just found out, and I think that would be fantastic to go to.
Yeah.
But they go to the grilled cheese festival only to find out that all of the grilled cheeses have been stolen, and so they had to figure out who stole all the grilled cheese sandwiches. And in the second book, it's called The Case of the Sleeping Artist, where Perlock and Marlowe go to France for an unveiling of this new painting, and it's stolen in front of their eyes. And
Mm.
Marlowe's Aunt Fufu, a poodle, is being accused of the crime. So it's kind of like, now it's personal type of a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Thomas Crown for the younger reader. I love the art connection
Yeah.
too. There's a classic sensibility to that of like a mystery in an art gallery kind of a thing.
Yeah, and kind of like again, like with Columbo, there's like that what I love about Columbo is that he was always like intertwined like with the upper society of Los Angeles. And it's kind of
Uh-huh.
like that same way, especially with the second book with the sleeping artist, where they're going into this art world and interviewing again, seeing the suspects, seeing the clues, and figuring it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's clearly a lot of fun. I laughed as I was reading the copy that I got, and uh, thinking about some of the allusions, the references you have here. You have like I'm gonna do my best to pronounce this, Moriarty, something like that.
Meowiarty. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking like we've got the Sherlock Holmes there, but then I'm like, oh, McCavity, and there's all of these kind of things that come to mind. I imagine it was a lot of fun for you as the author and the artist to put this together too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And Perlock was an easy name to come up with. But then because I was a huge Sherlock Holmes fan when I was a kid, but then I also wanted to kind of acknowledge Raymond Chandler
Hmm.
because he was an author that I grew into as I grew older, and Marlowe was just a perfect name for a dog. So it just everything kind of just fell into place. And like you were kind of saying, it's like sometimes things just happen, and being grateful for those moments.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of good wordplay, lots of visual play. Uh, what would you say if I'm a reader out there, if I'm looking for the mystery series to connect with, anything that I can expect?
Like in the books itself, or like in the
Hmm.
future.
Well, I
Uh,
suppose since we're talking the near future, anything from the first two volumes to be on the lookout for.
well, one of the things that I really enjoy, really with any story, is the main characters, Perlock and Marlowe. They're best friends. They're a cat and dog, but they're best friends, and they own this detective business together. And when it comes down to it, it's a buddy cop type of adventure where while they're trying to solve a crime, you get to slowly see like their personalities come out and
Hmm.
see exactly who they are. Perlock's a little bit more anxious and more eager to point a finger, while Marlowe is a little bit more laid back and willing to look things over just a little bit longer to make sure that everything is right. But it's their connection as friends and detectives that are really fun. And just like with, I think in any story, uh, the plot and like especially a mystery, the plot and the unveiling may be like intriguing, but you always come back for the characters and seeing like where they are now. And that's always with any story that I write that I want to know what happens to the characters. And while there's not enough room to really do like any character arc. There is like little bits of like fun character things that happen, especially like in the grilled cheese caper, that we find out a little bit about Perlock and his growing up and his past. That's kind of a was really fun to come up with.
It's nice. I'm
I don't
gonna
want to
tuck
spoil
a
anything.
Absolutely. I'm going to tuck a question here that wasn't on the list if you want to go after it. I'm always curious about kind of the ingredients of a story. So, anything that you would recommend to keep in mind as a mystery writer, because it is its own art.
It is. And it's funny because it's like, even though this is for a younger reader audience, uh, you still have to, you still have the same toolbox as a
Hmm.
regular mystery author. You have to make sure that the clues are there, but that and the suspects, but they all have to make logistical sense
Yeah.
to any reader. Um, and so I think that's one of the things I really was excited about this series was I know that there's a kid out there who is just like me wanting like a mystery to solve. Um, but I also know that I want to respect them as mystery lovers too. And you just
Mhm.
never know who, you know, little seeds of inspiration who might become a mystery lover because of something like this. And it's like even though like I've read pretty much everything that Agatha Christie's done, I still love to reread them. I because you can only read it once for like its unveiling, but I love to reread a mystery and seeing the bad guy weave in and out because you can actually watch them and go like, oh my gosh, right here they're oh my gosh, they lied right there. And so
Hmm.
you can only reread a mystery that first time as it's unveiled, but you can read it again and just really follow it for different reasons. And so I'm really hoping that this is really intriguing to the young mystery lover that's out there.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, those crafty author moves of it was right there the whole time. Yeah.
The whole time.
Um, Uh,
But even like with
anything?
even like with middle school misadventures, uh, not so much with the first book, but even like with the Operation Hat Heist and Dance Disaster, while it's not a who done it, there is a mystery element with both of those books as well that I really loved for the same reasons because in Hat Heist it was more like not like a spy, but it's a heist story
Mhm.
and there's a character that kind of like befriends them that you don't know if you can trust or not. And then in Dance Disaster, there's a girl who wants to get rid of the dance and wants to stop it. So it's like even in those books that are not considered a mystery, there's still like a mystery element. And I think that even in non-mystery novels, there's still like a question of why that really
Mhm.
keeps the reader moving and turning the page. It might be a secret that a character is keeping within themselves, or why did why did they plant the grapes next to the barn, type of a thing. And you're like, there's some reason, and it keeps the reader
Yeah,
moving.
nice, nice. I like how your love of the genre also comes through in those books. That's a cool connection to say. Here were some of the seeds for the more full-on whodunit.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
where can people go and learn about the book and your work? And I'll also say any shout outs to paper cuts that you'd like to mention as well.
Absolutely. Um, Yeah, I just obviously want to thank Paper Cuts and my whole team. They've just been amazing to work with my editing team, marketing. Every person that I've worked with has just been amazing. And it's something that I've really grown to really love and appreciate is that, and it's not just my book, but whenever you pick up a book and you see someone's name on the cover, there are so many other people who have touched that book on the editing team, copywriting, copy editing. There's so many people, and I got myself like the best team who are excited about the book series, and they make me even more excited about it. And they've just been fantastic. And I'm a really lucky guy.
Cool. Awesome. I know I can go to Paper Cuts and to their social media spaces. Anywhere else where people can follow you, classroom visits, things of that nature, or any of those kind of pieces that you'd like to mention.
Yeah, I'm currently revamping my website, but you can still find me under middleschoolmisadventures.com. And there you can also find like some of my author visit information. But there should be like a new website soon-ish. But also on Facebook, there's Jason Platt Illustrator. And on Instagram, there's Jason Platt underscore cartoonist, where I post cartoons, but also like some illustrations as well.
Nice, nice. Any shout out to a middle school teacher that you remember fondly from the middle school days? If not, no worries. Dropping that on you too. That just occurred to me.
Not so much with middle school, but my theater teacher in high
Yeah.
school. Scott Price. Just, I think he helped not just, even though it was theater, there's still, as an actor, you're reading a script. And he
Hmm.
taught me the love of storytelling beyond just reading something and working together as a team. And I'm really thankful for his guidance and his leadership. It's still huge impact on me even today. And I'm lucky that we're still friends after 30 years or so.
Just a little while, just a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Jason, always glad to talk with you. The space is always open and glad that Paw and Order is on the way and that there's another series that's headed to young readers' hands that they can engage with.
That's right. And thank you, Jason, for having me. I always appreciate it.